All right. Welcome to the next reaction video, everybody. This time taking a look at those Halloween Chipmunks movies uploaded by ToonrificTariq. Since he is covering the Alvin and the Chipmunks Universal films, I felt like I'd go ahead and check this one out. Besides, I am a fan of that franchise after all, and I adore those two films. Especially now recently as I've rediscovered my love for Alvin and the Chipmunks as a whole. I even have a few DVDs of my own that I grew up with. But without further ado, let's get started.
Nah. What the hell's this?
Melvin and the Squirrels. Part of
Melvin and the Squirrels. And I didn't even know they made fun of them like that.
Nah. What the hell's this?
Melvin and the Squirrels. Part of the rodent invasion of the early 60s.
Stuck a feather in his cap and called it rice-a-roni.
Melvin!
Nothing too wild. Huh? Wild?
You'd have to try pretty hard to find an animated franchise that means more to me than Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but like, okay, you're right. You got it. I see your point. Okay, man, bitch. Pretty much 20 years ago, Universal Studios had the rights to the Chipmunks and ended up doing two separate direct-to-DVD movies based on the characters, combining them with well-known Universal monsters. These being 1999's Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein and 2000's Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. I was definitely outside for both of these, more so Wolfman. I remember that being the first one I saw, running that VHS on repeat like a psychopath.
For me, the first one of these I saw was Meet Frankenstein. I did not have a copy. I believe I saw it somewhere online. Or maybe I saw the movie on like a burnt onto a disc, since my dad used to do that a lot with a bunch of films that I saw that I got to watch on the computer and whatnot. So even though I didn't have a copy, I still had that to watch. But since then, I had not seen it ever again until September this year, where I rediscovered my love for the franchise, as I said, and finding out that there was a second one of these films. So I knew I had to check them out again. And first one, absolute nostalgia blast. Although admittingly, Meet the Wolfman is certainly the better of the two.
If anyone watching this is too young to know what a VHS is, it's that filter that y'all keep slapping over footage of Homer Simpson driving high off medical marijuana for the...
Yeah, I remember that, but at least I'm old enough to know what a VHS is. I had a few of those as a kid.
Sad man Bob's. I'm sad, I know ya. Neck ass. Keep it a buck, I've been looking for an excuse to talk about the Chipmunks for a while on this channel. And these specials are definitely a great way to start. The Chipmunks low-key had the streets. It's time to show them the love that they deserve in the spirit of the Halloween season. You feel me? So fuck who getting the best head. I'm trying to see who's suffering the most, know what I mean? You feel me? It's spook day, you little bitch.
bitch. Oh, bitch.
All right, let's go. Probably
Damn, you were going all in there for a second, huh?
make a little 20-minute video like I always do. Put it out a little before Halloween. I got a couple of days.
Whoa, yo, my man, chill, yo, chill, my man, chill, yo, my man.
Chipmunks, Universal, Halloween, let's do it. Hurry up. See, watching this kind of stuff as an adult is cool because I get to talk about different aspects that I couldn't quite put my finger on when I was a kid. I knew something was off, but both of these films are actually way different in tone from each other. Alvin and the Chipmunks Meets Frankenstein takes place in a theme park most of the time, with the Chipmunks as borderline celebrities performing and shit.
Yeah, but obviously that place was an obvious stand-in for Universal Studios. And both of these films in general are darker in tone than the original 80s show ever was.
Elbows with big movie stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, black man. We don't say the N-word in it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, black man. Yeah, I get it.
Movie stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, black man. We don't say the N-word in this house, sorry. After performing one day, the Chipmunks decide to go off and end up getting lost and locked in unknowingly, which y'all ever been to y'all theme park before? Universal, y'all be throwing niggas out faster than Chris Brown died and stomped the yard.
We did it! We got there!
Throughout the early portions of this film, we see Dr. Frankenstein, who spells his name like this, apparently. Nigga was ahead of his time. Added 2 cool Heiko Montano on the end of that, and you got yourself a whole MySpace IMVU username. He gets hired to work at the theme park to sort of put on this evil scientist act for an attraction. But the gag is, he's actually a scientist.
Of course.
I didn't say the gag was funny. He actually ends up creating Frankenstein's monster, and the boys walking on him doing this. So like he tells Frankenstein to chase them around the theme park because no snitching, and they end up running home, to which he follows. Apparently he came to give Theodore his teddy bear back that he dropped while he was running from him, and they boys now, I guess. Then the movie takes this weird break where the boys teach Frankie how to act if he wants to have friends. Yes, his name's Frankie now, keep up. The boys have to be to a movie premiere. The doctor snatches Alvin. He gives him like this weird potion that turns him into a stereotypical cartoon character. This is very offensive. Roger Rabbit should tell HR about this. I don't know. Alvin bugs out at the premiere until Simon and Theodore give him the antidote. Everybody peeps Frankie. They try to get him out of here. Theodore stands up for him.
No, he's my friend. He's no monster, Gaston. You are.
Oh, snap. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's definitely a lot to like here. This one's guilty of having one of my favorite gags in animation history, where they're going so fast on a roller coaster that they actually turn into all their past designs.
Yeah, I love that scene.
This blew my damn mind as a kid, and I still think it's crazy clever.
Man, he's like cough syrup. He just won't go down.
Ivan, what you know about that lean, boy? I also really like all of the stuff in the beginning where the Chipmunks are kind of just like messing around. You never really get to see Simon join in on a lot of Alvin's fun, so it's actually pretty cool when you get to see them all playing around together as a unit. And it's really cool to see Miss Miller again, even if it is just for a few moments. This isn't even her best performance, though. That goes to the Chipmunk Adventure. I don't know, it's a little harder for me to write about this special beyond this. There's not really much else to say. Anything else I have to say about it kind of just comes from when comparing it to the second one that they did, which I'm going to talk about. Like, don't worry. They're both in the thumbnail, my guy.
I will admit that the Meet Frankenstein film does have its flaws. The pacing of it is probably the worst thing about it. The plot is kind of weak, and overall, it doesn't really compare that well to the much better film Meet the Wolfman, but still, both of them are very enjoyable. As I said, I adore both of the films. But I'm just saying, Meet Frankenstein just has some glaring flaws to it. Like, I did find it interesting how it started out with Dr. Frankenstein and his monster in black and white. I felt like if they did it that way with Meet the Wolfman, they would have been able to flesh out Mr. Talbot's character a lot more. But just a thought, you know. But overall, yeah, I love these films. Oh, yeah.
Stop asking me the name of these songs. I write them on the screen. Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. This is the one I really wanted to talk about. Really into monsters and stuff, Alvin suspects something's up with their new neighbor, Mr. Talbot. At the same time, their school is putting on a production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with Simon as the doctor and Alvin as the Mr. I don't know. That's what I wrote. Theodore is getting picked on at school. Alvin, like, blows the fucking school up, mixing chemicals.
That looks like it's coming from the school.
No shit.
They cast Theodore in Alvin's role, thinking it will help instill some confidence in him, but he's having a pretty hard time finding said confidence. On his way home one day, he gets bitten by a dog and slowly starts to change, not only in appearance, but attitude too. This nigga turns into a little shit.
Theodore was always the sweet one. What about me? You're the smart one. And me? You're the other one.
Block. Delete. The fuck?
Alvin and Simon realize that he's actually a werewolf. I mean, sort of, he's like a puppy. So they try to figure out the best way to help him. Out of the two, this is definitely the one that feels more like not just a film, but a Halloween film. It might be the colors and shading, definitely, but I feel like Wolfman really shines in his characters, music, and storytelling.
Yeah, it really does excel at being more of a Halloween film, and it does ramp up the horror quite a bit. But still not too much for a kids film, you know?
A lot more of the cast is used here. We get Brittany, Eleanor, and Jeanette, who are always great to see, and Dave gets a lot more to do too. I love whenever Dave, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore are treated like a loving family. Like, watch this clip of Theodore getting bullied.
Cut it out, Nathan! Let's go! Whoa!
I want to kick his ass.
Hey!
This is like such a fatherly reaction. Like, I think about this like so often. Dave was always kind of a pussy,
Right?
I guess. But seeing him guard his boys so he can beat Mr. Talbot the fuck up is great. Yeah, okay, so turns out Alvin was right, and their neighbor was actually the werewolf that bit Theodore. Then they catch a fade at the school play, and Theodore bites him back, reversing the whole thing, and they're both cured. I'm sorry, it doesn't entirely make sense, but Simon explained it, and he wears glasses, so I am inclined to believe him. And you want
Yeah, the fact that the curse with both of them is reversed with that is kind of contrived, but it's not a deal breaker in the slightest, honestly. But yeah, I love the fact that Dave is more of a man in this film. Like, he's that protective in this film, way more than he's ever been portrayed in any other episode or movie. Like, I love how he's played off in this film, especially the fact he wanted to just kill Mr. Talbot when he saw him in that one scene, you know? Like, wow, I just love his characterization in this.
anyone that knows anything about these specials knows that this one is definitely the superior one in terms of the soundtrack. It's some heat up here. Monster Out in You, Everything's Gonna Be All Right, Monks on a Mission, Everyday
Definitely.
Struggle, Machine Gun Funk, Fuck Me, Interlude. Oh shit,
That's
this
not
is
in
the
the film.
track list to Ready or Die. Everyday Struggle is my favorite Biggie song.
Yeah, but I'm not into that stuff.
Theodore kind of shines a lot in both of these, especially in Wolfman. Frankenstein is more of a collective adventure, but even then, he sort of just like takes the charge when all of the friendship stuff comes into play. I feel like they understood that his character is relatively sweeter, making it a little easier to give films a little bit more heart. Simon kind of does the least in both of these, which is kind of upsetting. I mean, like, he was always my favorite. I had to do that describe yourself in 3 characters thing on Twitter, and I realized that I deliver all my videos like a Black Simon, and I've never been the same since. It was always kind of weird to me that the Chipmunks were treated like celebrities in one of these and normal kids in the other. They used to do that shit a lot in the 80s cartoon. I remember there was an episode where Dave's like struggling to pay the bills, and I always got confused by that. They're like pop stars. I thought they were rich. And it just dawned on me that the Chipmunks might not own their masters. Ouch.
Yeah, with episodes like that, it made absolutely no sense to me. Also, that mother-son duo in Meet Frankenstein, they were pointless. I hate them. They were just there to be annoying. They only appear in like 2 scenes that are never seen or mentioned again. Thank God.
Who they signed to? Tommy Boy? Yo, I'll be feeding y'all the most deep cut jokes in these videos, and I'll be so surprised when y'all get them. I don't know, man. I just prefer Wolfman in literally all regards, especially in tone and pacing.
Me too.
Frankenstein has a lot more walking around aimlessly and talking than I remember. All of the stuff about Frankie actually being a good guy doesn't actually come in until well after the halfway point.
Yeah, and it takes like 45 minutes within this hour something film for them to finally befriend Frankie. But then they rush through his character development and on to the final act. Like, the pacing could have been handled much better in this film, if you ask me. And overall, yeah, I still have to admit the overall flaws with the film. But I do love how the characters' 2D designs look. They're updated and they look great overall.
Before that, it's so lackadaisical. It's almost like nothing happens. Then it gets to the friendship stuff, and it's like, this doesn't even feel like a Halloween joint anymore. Like, listen to this record they played during the montage.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It doesn't feel like itself.
Ugh.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It feels like a different movie for that entire scene with the song. Along with the pacing and such, it doesn't really do itself any favors.
Like, Jesus Christ, Jesus is king. It almost feels like this special has like an identity crisis. I don't even know what it's trying to be. See, now Wolfman's tone and pacing is wild consistent. Making the school put on a production of Jekyll and Hyde is dope because it keeps this like spooky tone following us wherever we are in the story. See, making this a story about Theodore's confidence is really smart because it ties right into his behavior as a werewolf. He's really like brass and cocky when that happens, which you could maybe call confidence, but it's not. It's like arrogance patched over wild insecurities. The one true act of confidence that Theodore shows when he's completely normal is when he runs to Eleanor's house to give her a necklace. That's why it's so poignant when he recognizes it in the climax and he starts to protect her. All of these rude, wild actions, those aren't him. But protecting Eleanor, protecting his one true call to confidence, that's him. Oh shit! Wait, I don't think he remembers any of that. Never mind.
Oh boy, yeah.
Mobile games are going big. Clash of Clans.
Oh, brother, tell us what's gotten into you lately.
One of my closest homeboys back home is hip-hop dancer E-Skills on Instagram. It was from him that I first heard the phrase musicality, which is sort of like listening to music and catching every beat in motion. They usually use this as a term in dance.
I've actually never heard that kind of term before.
I always wanted to talk about this in terms of animated stuff. It's honestly my favorite part of a lot of scenes in the medium, not even just this film. I just never really knew the right way to describe in word how I felt. But, you know, the cool thing about this channel is that I get to talk about things that normally wouldn't come up in conversation. Hey man, how's it going? Did you know that the voice of George Jetson died in a recording booth? This is the last skit I'm animating. I have 2 days to make this video. I'm going to try to describe this the best way I can. Let's look at like the monster out in you sequence. The entire thing is on beat and it's great.
Oh, brother, tell us what's gotten into you lately.
It looks pretty standard. You probably think I'm like talking about the snap, but look at Theodore's arms right here. Oh, brother. He's like stepping on every syllable. Then Alvin stops him. What's gotten into you? Puts his hand on his hips. Lately. Boom. Snap. Then Simon shrug here. That's a really great touch. Nothing in the world that you can't do. Or Alvin and Simon popping up right here. See, peep how they pop up on in you. See, this next shot I think is pretty cool because it starts off going to the rhythm of the lyrics, but ends on following the instrumentation. Same thing with the arms. How do you do? Turn. What's up with you? Then there's these cymbals that you can hear in the back of the instrumentation. Theodore actually lands on that when he strikes his last pose. So like now when you play the whole thing out, it's harmonized so great. I love it.
Yeah, that actually makes it even better the more I think about it. And plus, I've never paid attention to the whole musicality thing since I've never been familiar with the term and meaning.
What do you do? What's up with you? Little brother, Mr. Hyde.
Stuff like this is littered throughout Wolfman, and I eat this type of shit up. The timing is great. Monks on a Mission, an earlier song, has a few great timing bits too. We'll keep on working. I could go on for hours about this shit. I've always been the biggest fan of timing anything, animation or film, to music perfectly. Or, you know, like them bitch-ass film auteur niggas call it, Mickey Mousing. God damn, just say y'all don't got rhythm already. I don't got time for semantics.
Now.
Since we're on timing, I might as well just round it off here. The animation in both of these films is great, but both in their own way. Wolfman has all of the better timing and slicker models. The shadows are a great touch and is storyboarded really well, leading to a lot of great looking compositions. The animation is pretty bouncy, but sometimes it's a little like too bouncy.
You're retiring? Why, you don't look a day over 50.
I'm 31!
Jesus Christ, Shorty squished faster than Chris Brown died and stomped the yard. I'm making up for lost time, damn it. Frankenstein has much rounder designs. As you can tell from the credits, these are both done by the same teams, but you can tell that this is their first time working with these characters.
Yeah.
The animation is a lot more straightforward than Wolfman. There isn't much bounce to it. Sometimes it just kind of looks like a cleaned up episode of the 80s cartoon, but it has that gag I really like. There's a lot more gravity to this movement, and the coloring really helps you land right into that overly priced theme park mindset. I like Dave in both of these. His least favorite design of mine might just be from the 80s cartoon, just because there's like so much detail in his face that's just like not animated well. Then there's like the Chipmunk adventure where he looks like Bob Saget. There's a lot going on. They simplified it like Bob Saget. There's a lot going on.
Especially when you pause it like that. I can't unsee it now. Thank you.
They simplified the design here and it feels a lot better. They simplified Britney and shit too, who had these like stockings and stuff going on with her in the 80s cartoon. It was a little jarring at first, but I see the vision. Not only is it a lot less complicated to animate, but no one really dressed like this around this time period unless you're talking about like Pepper Ann.
Cool.
Yo, going to an ad break after the Pepper Ann intro is sick.
You want to scream and shout and jump right out of your skin.
These specials are still as fun to watch as I remember them being. I definitely recommend checking both of them out. They both hold up pretty well, despite Wolfman being the superior one in my eyes. It's kind of hard to detach the Chipmunks today from those shitty live-action movies, and that Nickelodeon cartoon that's airing today is doing a pretty good job at holding the fort down for the franchise. It's just like the 80s cartoon. But,
I mean, I have yet to delve deeper into the newer series, but so far from what I've seen, I actually like it. And the live-action animated films, I actually like them. Yes, they're not the best. They are quite flawed, but I still find a lot of enjoyment in them. I've seen almost all of them except for Road Trip, and I'm not sure which one is my favorite so far. I will simply mention that I think Ian being in the third film was entirely unnecessary. I kind of have this thing with him where I'm just hate with him. Sometimes I like him, other times I just cannot stand him. So I was just tired of him by the third film. I just wanted him to just vanish from there on out. And besides, the scenes with him and Dave alone on the island were pretty much just filler more than anything. But hey, that's enough of that.
these two deserve way more attention. They may not be as spooky as something that you'd anticipate for this season, but it's always great to see Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. And
Yeah.
Dave, too. Don't forget about Dave, you guys.
Is that it?
Are you
Hello?
in or in? Given those choices, I'm in. But on one condition. If we prove he's not a werewolf, you give up this whole monster craziness. Deal.
Oh, the mission.
Theodore? Alvin, what did the doctor give you to drink? Theodore? What do I have to do to get some attention around here? Grow things?
Oh, damn, it's loud.
Theodore took care of it.
Theodore beat up a werewolf?
Theodore! Simon! Alvin!
Gaze well upon my face.
For it is the face of evil.
Oh boy, man. I'm telling you, those two films will always have a special place in my heart, especially now that I'm back into loving the Chipmunks these days. Like, it feels so good. But yeah, that's going to do it for the reaction, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Tell me what you think of these two Chipmunk films. Which one is your favorite? An overall video will also be linked in the description down below. Take care, everybody, and I hope you have a good day.